Culture, just a short look. You can sort the cultures in your empire right now, and then show here in culture map mode. The Sapiens are all over here. Civilians, Umbres, Etruscan, etc. pp. All this shit, all these cultures will be all over the place, and they will spread as they integrate each other and stuff. So later on, this won't look this nice. Punic will be all of this, most likely. So as soon as you have like most of it, you want to integrate Punic, because otherwise your loyalty will drop by a good factor because of unhappiness gained by not the same culture. Anyway, yeah, you can give people certain decisions which will boost the happiness and cultural integration speed of certain cultures. These are like special buffs, right to enter contracts and right of intermarriage. But those two are special contracts because of ancient laws between Etruscans in Rome and Sabellians in Rome, like the famous robbing of the Sabellian women by Rome. Yes, I am a historian. I can't talk about some stuff like that. I'm not perfect for memory, sadly. Otherwise I would do it all the time, but anyway. Not that important. Like, there's other decisions, right of appeal, census tax, restrictions on citizenship, protected land rights. And you can see here decide, when you go for protected land rights, for example, Roman culture will get culture happiness, culture of citizen and freeman output. Rome gains national freeman happiness overall, and you gain 10 approval from the optimates and 10 and lose 10 from the populares. This is something I will look into it in a minute too. Like this first episode is basically just looking into everything, and the second one, which is gonna come out right after this, hopefully, if I have enough time, will be the actual start of the gameplay, most likely. This will probably be an hour long. Anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna take my time to explain this all because I think it's important for you, and then we can start. Military, you have levies, you can raise them, you can disband them. You disband them after a certain time. You can't disband them during war. After a certain time of disbanding, you will be able to raise them again. Legions, the love of Rome, its legions, great stuff. Will be very fun later on, but we can't until we have a certain law. I will show it in a minute. And the traditions are basically military traditions. Depending on your culture group, you will be able to start with different traditions. Like the Punic traditions is for Carthage, the Persians are for over here, in the Antigonid kingdom, which is mostly Greek, but some Persian over here, and for the Seleucids and stuff. We have, as traditions, Italic tribe and Roman. I don't know why this started like this anyway. There's some interesting stuff in here. Military experience. Your cohorts during war and passively gain military experience. Each 80 experience, you can get one tradition, and you want to choose. Early on, what I found the most useful out of all this, before showing you, go straight through here. This path, straight. 2 reasons. First, siege ability, very important. The faster your sieges go, the faster your wars go. The slower your sieges, the longer your wars will go, the more attrition you will take, and etc. pp. The Fabry, again, siege engineers +1, but 3 innovations. Innovations are your technology. Each innovation is one big technology, and these technologies are very important. Roman roads. First, heavy infantry movement speed and light infantry movement speed. 2, 3 innovations again. 3, sorry. Build military road ability. Your legions, and I think your normal levies too, but it is a bit complicated with them because they aren't always active, and if they're active they will gain you the war exhaustion. But especially for the legions, you can build military roads, which will increase your mobility speed from plot to plot insanely fast. And then you will want to give logistic of state as well, because first you gain free province investments, which will always be useful, and you get recruitment costs, engineering costs, and supply train costs reductions. Good. And then you can just go through here and here, and eventually maybe later get the Italo-Greek influence and unlock the Greek police traditions, which are rather tasty. Because all that stuff is... I can go on about this all day long. Literally. But it takes certain requirements, like the Italo-Greek influence. You need to have principles and scalar walls. You need to have an integrated culture of at least 72 pop size belonging to one of the following: Hellenistic, Dacan, or Illyrian culture group, which is basically everything over in Greece. So as soon as your eye of taking on stuff goes over here, against the Magadons, Epirus, the Greek city-states, which will usually be coupled up fairly easily, or the Antigonides, you can get this unlocked, which basically means you can get stuff in here too. Very nice. Anyway, not that important right now. We want to focus this tree, this and this. We want to finish this tree eventually before moving on to the Italic tribe traditions, because this stuff is not that important for me, because it's mostly light infantry. Yes, you will have a lot of light infantry early on, but in fact you will gain a ton of heavy infantry very early, just by growing in size and getting like more of it. Anyway, mercenaries are simple. We'll see it during wars, like there is places all over the map. Right now I can't see any because the map is all in fog of war, but there's places where there's a random army standing, which is mercenaries basically. There. Here. Mercenaries. Enchi's pirates. It's a mercenary captain of Camillus Enchis. When you click on them, you can hire them. I mean, you could... no. Yeah, of course. It doesn't work now because probably we're paused. Anyway. You can hire them for 100 gold, and they will cost you a certain amount of upkeep per month. If you can afford it, have fun. If you can't... And whenever you go to war, always plan them in. That the enemy will get mercenaries, and they will, if they have any kind of money, they will start pumping out mercenaries like there's no tomorrow. Believe me, I've seen it all. Literally. Testing, I have had wars which were stretched over a good 10 years by mercenaries. Thankfully there's a few tricks and tactics against usage of mercenaries, which I will show you as soon as we encounter them. Which will be very soon eventually. Diplomacy. Just a short look. Clicking on Rome, if you can click on Rome. Like, you can look at any nation in the diplomatic overview and just check them out. Rome. We will have some subjects in the Italian peninsula which will make some sort of secure border for us. Which will be Frentania over there. Pelingina in the middle. Nucaria, this little block down here, and Marsia over here. Very simple. They will have a Callus Belly for Rome, because I think it's like something because we are their rulers. They will always have a reason to go to war. If they suddenly became stronger than Rome would become, yay. They could declare war on us and become free. Like, I think you can actually start as Frentania and like work on getting stronger than Rome, and then declare war on Rome to become free. It works. It's cool. But like, if Etruria very early on of some reason would say, hey, we're gonna be allies with Frentania. You could say, hey, you help us against Rome and we'll take Rome out. It's fun, but not for us right now. Anyway, we'll have this truce because, you know, it's part of history and we have a shit ton of people we would trade with. And we have one diplomatic space, which basically means that any kind of allies or subjugated kingdoms or people will take up one space. Characters are simple. Every character in Rome and every family in Rome will be shown there. Missions. There will be missions. The more you grow at certain points, when you reach certain regions, you will get new missions. And whenever you complete a certain mission, you will become another new mission. First mission is Roma Italia, of course. Roman Italia, of course. Conquer or subdue the Italian peninsula. Start. Very simple. Early on, you can instantly say one or two things. You can actually, up here, top decision, Pan-Italic conquest. Sorry. Pan-Italic conquest, which is basically you gain opinion of people and create alliances with other people which you normally would fight. Since we don't want to weaken ourselves in this approach, encourage expansion. On completion, you gain claims on the Italian peninsula, every single part, as well as Rome will be able to pick various military modifiers. Takes 365 days to complete, 1 year. 1st of October 451 we will have this completed. We're gonna start this right now. Will pop up as soon as I stop the pause, but we have to do two more things. First of all, we have to do the 80s. Not important right now. One is fine. I'm just gonna give it to Lucius Papius Cursor. Do we? Maybe not. Maybe do this government first. Two more things. Government, technology, and a short assignment. Governorship. The year of Publius and Publius. Publius Sulpicius Severio and Publius Sempronius Sophus will be our consul for the next 5 years. You can also push, but he's 50. You want to have a bit less old ruler, in fact. Possible for you to start your expansion in terms of dictatorship. But we will see about it, as I said before. The Senate is pretty much taken on by the Optimates, some Boni, and a little bit of Populars, which are in fact under the rule of Marcus Valerius Corvus, the governor of Magna Graecia, which reduces his loyalty by quite a bit, but he'll be fine. There will be some events which make him illoyal later, as soon as you make him bigger. So I guess eventually he'll either get executed, or we'll have to make something happen to make him happy again. There is certain things, certain agendas each faction has, like the Optimates for example have the agenda of grant 5 holdings to heads of families. You get 20 approval. They already have 50 approval, and their approval will just raise with time because of events, because of stuff, because of general raising approval, because they are the ruling party. They will gain 0.17 approval per month. And some others will get lower and they will get higher and whatever. Technically you want to have at least 2 at very heavy, the third one, who cares, because they will always be the smaller one. If you control most of the Senate under you, you will have a good amount of support, and you will have a good amount of people which will say, yep, sure, whatever the fuck you wanna do it. Offices, here, a little bit complicated sometimes, because as it is, you will most likely not ever find anybody who suits the job very well. Gaius Junius Bubicus, blah. Jesus, his name is taken out of me right now. Bubulcus, Gaius Junius Bubulcus. There it goes. For example, is pretty good. He has 12 military and experience statesmanship of 51. Statesmanship you gain over time due to jobs and due to certain skills. He has skill crafty, which gives him where is it? The monthly statesmanship 0.05%. Pretty good. Yes. And you gain a good amount of percentage of each day. So if he has 100%, which is very hard to reach because they will likely die before they can reach that, you will have 12 out of 12 marshal in the governor position, given 0.12 military experience per tick per month. Yeah, that's how it works basically. Technically I want to remove that guy, but I believe he is, well, he could actually make a pretty decent fleet commander because our fleet is not that important right now. And this guy is really good. So, the national tax increases to 9%. Will do us pretty well. Anyway, let's look. Okay, there's something interesting right now which I can explain already. Again, more explaining. My apologies, this will be a very long episode of explaining, probably 2 parts. We'll get to the gameplay in the next episode, as it is right now. It will be probably a 1 hour special or half hour episodes for now. And then every 5 or 10 parts we'll do a 1 hour special. Scorned families. If the family becomes scorned, it will be unhappy and there will be events which will give you rather big Mali on your stuff until this family doesn't become scorned. You can keep them scorned for a while, but you want to give them jobs as soon as possible. Sometimes you just can't, and if you keep them for too long, they will eventually go extinct. In a way, there will be an event, I've seen it a few times, where it says, okay, this family has done a lot of jobs for the Republic and for us, but it is not any longer capable of doing it. So you will want to reduce its members. And you can say yes, and then the family disappears and a new family shows up. Or you can say no, and then you will have to give the job, otherwise the family will be removed, no matter if you say yes or no. So you can see here, it will say none of them have this symbol, because none of them are in this family besides of this guy. And someone later on, no, actually no one but this guy is in this family. So you want to give that position to Gaius Fabius Licinius. There we go. Problem solved. And that solved the problem of having 2 uncontrolled navies too. One navy is fine, you will just keep that here until you have a good amount of ports, and then you will start producing ships like crazy, because you want to have as many ships as possible against Carthage. Because they have a massive navy. Early on they get an event where you get like a 50 ship stack for free. Decent ships, but you can beat them. And their only way to get off the African insula of the North African coast to you in Rome, in Sicily, is ships. There is no land connection, of course. Like, there would actually be a land connection over here in Chalcedon or Byzantium, as it is. Like, these are the 2 cities right now. I think they can later on be combined during an event or something. Anyway, they'd have to go all the way around there and then up here and down there. They want to take the land route. Or over here, which you can do with an army without ships, and then all the way as Hannibal did through the Alps. But that is not likely to happen unless they actually get land over here and then take you from there. because they'd have to go to so many territories, it's unlikely that all of them will give you military access, and will keep that military access active for long enough for your armies to go through. Thus, the amount of supply it will take is enormous. Anyway, one last thing to do. Technology. Empty. Nice. No. You have 4 tabs. Religious, oratory, civic and martial advances. Each has 2 to 3 trees. A military tree, siege tree, naval tree. I've never ever bothered with this tree at all. I always go for this one and a little bit of this one. Civic, you have 2. Production and happiness, building percentages, discipline, happiness, taxes, import routes, stuff. It's very weird. Now here it becomes a little bit interesting. You have one part which is more in terms of diplomacy and a little bit of happiness. You will find happiness in every tree everywhere, and you want to get all of these happiness technologies in the end, but to that later it becomes a problem. This is more or less aggressive expansion, impact and reduction. This one for example is very good. Some other stuff down here is pretty decent. This side over here you don't really need it. I mean this one, Walker's score cost, nice, but not important. We will have one target early on, because the earlier you start it, the more likely you will have a good amount of stability. There is a tree, a part of this tree here, the legal and human conduct, legal patronage tree. You want planning mode? This. Why? Because these are not that important, but this one, shady connections, is something where you become a little bit more intriguous in the end, and it goes down to a route which is unique and will only go one time. You can take this route, you will get to something very interesting. Rewrite Constitution. You need to have shady connections and researched, and you need to have your ruler be given temporary dictatorship, which only works during a war. You can enable dictator and you get like 5 or 10 tyranny, and you lose something. I think it's a political influence, nothing important. You can do that at any time, and it'll just enable them to make some decisions which normally would take a vote of the Senate. But it would take in the background. It will either say yes or no as option for you on that, but in that case it would always say yes, no matter how much the Senate hates you. And it will give you monthly tyranny plus 0.02, which is nothing big, but enact law cost minus 25%. This is quite big. Then you can go to ensure national stability. You need to have rewrite the constitution. You need to have a popularity with your current ruler, whoever that is at that point. It doesn't need to be Publius Oporius Sophus. It can be anybody. Of 90. And you need to have the law of consultum ultimum enacted. When activated, you get Princeps Civitatis law, which gives election term duration 45, which means 45 years. Which means the ruler is basically ruling for quite a while. This is the law which Augustus actually enacted to become the emperor. After the bitter triumvirate conflicts, the adopted son of Caesar, Gaius Octavius, later known as the first emperor of Rome, reformed the very nature of the republic. Whilst in practice he held authority and control over a state in turmoil, he referred to himself as Princeps Civitatis, or first citizen, as he said about creating the legal framework for an empire that spanned nearly 500 years. Oh yeah, we wanna span for 500 years, but in the year 900, we may even have most of the map conquered at this point. I will only be fighting single little wars for tiny bits of territory with like massive empires. So let's see about that. Anyway, and we'll get the monster stability chain of 0.003. And then you can request line association or demand. Request basically means you need to have all of that stuff, you need to be at peace, you do not have a civil war. The populars have a creator equal to 80 support, which is, sadly, this. Populars at 5, you have 80. It is almost impossible to get there. I tried for a long time and didn't manage it. You had to have creator or equal to 50 tyranny, which is kind of counterproductive to the support you need, because the tyranny will reduce the amount of support you get slightly. Not much, but slightly enough to maybe make it from 80 to like 75. You need to grind it up to 80 again, and then it loses the tyranny because it's always going down, and you will see if you ever try it for yourself. Anyway, you need to have a creator equal to 150 political influence. It's doable. When activated, you lose 25 stability, you lose the 150 political influence, you adopt the dictatorship, gain 10 tyranny, 2 free province investments, and you gain corrupt, if you choose this path. And when active, the monster political influence is plus 10%. Dictatorship here is very simple. It's basically a monarchy. You reign for life, and you can not really choose your succession, but you can influence who becomes the next dictator in some kind of way. It will most likely be your son or daughter if you choose so, and most likely you will want to keep it in the family, but this family will start to lose a lot of members very fast because people will want to have the ruler under their own family. So yeah, that's a whole nother chapter. And you get another idea and some better and different buffs. It's something worth going for, I think, because you need to have a dictatorship in order to become the Roman Empire. You cannot become the Roman Empire without having this line done first. Anyway, without further ado, let us just set our 8 starting inventions, which is probably going to be actually this and this. This one is interesting for later. This one is not worth it yet. I wonder if we get those and this one, because aggressive expansion. Get rid of it as soon as possible. This one is very interesting as a tree because of the religious part. There's something here, this one, the effigy, you want to have it early on. I'm then just gonna take this basic training. I'll try and push for professional training because we want to have professional training for making the law for raising a legion in the capital region. It's important. Anyway, this will not take a long, it will take about 10 to 15 years depending how good your researchers will be. You want to possibly increase it, but right now most of the people which are actually the researchers are most likely going to be rather young. So, if possible, keep them, because they will earn a lot of experience through the position of researcher. And you want to make sure that that is a thing. And that is already all the things done up here. Now one last look at government and law. I haven't looked at this yet. Now each law is very interesting and very individual. Some of them you can only do at a certain level of advances. Some of them you can instantly do, but they will cost a lot. 15 stability is a lot. You don't want to do this until you need to. Like Consultum Ultimum, you don't want to do this until you have the research prior to the thing which requires you to have this one done. And you want to make sure to get as much stability as possible from the little events and little pop-ups you will get in the next few turns. and from just gameplay by using all of your political influence towards the religious divine sacrifices. Get as much stability as possible. The higher it goes, the harder it is to keep. 100 stability is very hard to get, and it's almost impossible to keep. Because it will go down so fast at some point. You will get like minus 1.2 actually per click, just from the base 1%. And then there's other reasons why it goes down. Like your bonus to increase would be needing to be that high. It's crazy to even think about that, because I tried a lot of stuff and I've never reached higher than like 80. And 80 was the time where I decided to make the decision to force the what is it called again? I keep forgetting. It's horrible. My apologies. To demand the line of secession, which basically means will be forced into a large civil war, the size of which will be inversely proportional to our stability. What this sentence means took me a long time and a lot of trial and error to find out. The higher your stability is at the time you enact this advancement, the lower the amount of provinces will be that will go into civil war. It will still be quite a few, but the higher your stability, the lower the amount of fighting you have to do to get to that point again. It's interesting to find it out, and it took quite a long time anyway. You want to do this part because it's the easiest. Just make sure you have the 40 provinces, potentially have enough armies with your main, raise all your levies, maybe make your legion, if possible. If not, doesn't matter, you don't have to. It's easily doable with the levies you have, and then just push in there with all your allies and wreck them as fast as possible. The faster you can take all the big cities, the better, because the faster the big cities fall. And you wanna make sure you take down the fortresses, because then they have to make fortresses themselves and don't start with as much gold as they usually would start. And the easier you have it going through there. Anyway, that's basically the importance behind this. I will explain a little bit more, then we will see it as soon as we reach it, but it's gonna be a few episodes from now, of course. Now, it's been an hour and 12 minutes-ish, so I guess we're gonna let it run for 1 month, just go through the events which pop up, and then save, and call it a day. And I'm gonna come back to this in a few when I have time again, and record a few more episodes to come out today and in the next few days. Let's proceed. This starts generally very slow, but there we go, it pops up. So, you see, an envoy from the Pannonian local power of Norica requested they import wine from the province of Latium. This would remove our capital surplus, making us lose the following bonus: Legion maintenance cost minus 5%. This will earn us 0.35 gold each month. What shall be our answer? Now you can either click it for it to pop up and you can give it an answer, or you can just right click and it's gone. Again, Dacia, the Dacian local power of Ansamangia. Nope. There we go. Wherever the pop-up is, it will auto pause and you can move it around. You click on this red bar, actually you can click anywhere, sorry. You can click anywhere and you can move it around and then open other tabs and look at things. So if you want to check something in the background, you can. You can even check city fields and look at things here and like, is that better, is that better? It's all possible. Anyway, oh god, that guy again. Gaius Junius Bubulcus rises, clearing his throat vigorously. The Etruscan city-states have proved time and again but have proved time and again their hostilities to Rome. At every turn they collude with the Umbrians and Samnites like snakes. Our great victory at Latius Videmio has revealed their weakness. They are ripe for invasion. And you have two choices here. You will, in most of these first, because they come from this mission. This is the like the pop-ups. Every nation in here will have this pop-up, like the Etruscan Creed, the Samnite Creed, the Lusanian Creed, the Brutium threat, the whatever, Messapian, Syracuse, and whatever. They will all pop up now. The Etruscans must be destroyed. Roman gains claims on Etruscan territories in the provinces of Tuscia and the Turcopolis. Etruria loses 24 opinion of Rome, and the guy, Gaius Junius, gains 5 popularity. In any case, we must defend ourselves. We lose 2 popularity, he loses 5 loyalty, Etruria gains 10 opinion of Rome, and he gains 5 popularity anyway, because this event will always give him, in any case, because it already has happened, 5 popularity because he stood up and said that, and everybody likes it. Now, this is kind of like the way, I love everybody, I want to have like a massive allies network and try and defeat big empires that way. Not my playstyle, not your playstyle probably. If it is, have fun finding it out yourself. This is not the way I will play here. I will play the aggressive term as I've done before, as I know how it goes, as I figured out the ways to do this, and I want to show you. And we want to make this together, because each time you start this up, it will be different. Very different. The Etruscans must be destroyed. Now you got claims on them. Actually, I'm curious, does it do that here too? There was like a little side event when I first played as Rome. It has never returned since, but which was like a massive earthquake in this area instantly, which like kind of ruins your process a little bit, but it was like a divine saying that your ruler is like completely whatever, not right in his mind or whatever, and you want to remove him. And there was like a way to say, okay, I'm done. It's weird. Anyway, we talk of the Republic military traditions today. Attack is the best form of defense. You gain offensive focus for 120 months, and he gains some loyalty, and you gain popularity, and he gains popularity, and everyone is happy. Siege ability plus 5%, which basically means the amount of, the amount of siege process every click gives you, and heavy infantry offense. Simple. So the safety? Nah. Attack. Let's let it run until the next tick. There we go. This will be it for the first episode. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for the next parts. Feel free to like if you liked this, dislike if you didn't like it. Comment, get involved with the community, check out the description for the Facebook community link, and later on for Discord link, whenever we reach the required amount of abonations for that. And yeah, feel free to like, dislike, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and see you all next time. Line out.